The Business Innovation Zone, also known as the Biz, is the place to start for entrepreneurs in Iowa. The Biz helps entrepreneurs and startup companies focus on idea development, business models, strategy, market validation, mentoring, and networking. We also help clients connect with qualified community and state resources needed to grow their business. Throughout the year, we provide a number of networking opportunities with experienced entrepreneurs and business leaders by offering monthly luncheons and all-day seminars on marketing and finance. You can learn more about the Biz at bizci.org.
All right, so real quick to wrap up, we'll have about 10 more minutes here and we'll be done. I just want to say one thing about the crowdfunding thing. I think that from a non-law standpoint, and I am not a lawyer, it reminds me of some of the open source stuff that took place when a lot of the people that sold software with these giant source code license agreements and code license agreements and all this will never work. Well, what happened was somebody standardized some language that everybody started to agree with. So my hope, and what I think will really happen long term after all the lawsuits get settled out, is you're going to see some very much crowdsourced, generic, open sourced, everybody gets it, oh, it's the Iowa book. We're using the Iowa book on this investment. Okay, everybody knows what the Iowa book is. And then I think we'll find some ways to use it. But I think they're absolutely right. You really don't want, when things are going great, 600 investors, all that have 1.0001% of your company calling and yelling at you because they didn't like your last decision. And just keep that in mind. I've had stockholders yell at me. It's no fun. And whether they have enough voting rights to matter doesn't matter, because there's social media and they can destroy you in social media. They can say, I'm a stockholder and my company just blew themselves up. And now every other stockholder you have and all your customers think you just blew yourself up because your stockholder said you did. So just, it's something that you got to really think about. All right, so as a wrap up, all of that, here's kind of what I want to leave you with these three types of capital. If you say, I want to go raise friends and family money, you're looking at 30 to 60 days, and these are all typicals, okay, just typically 30 to 60 days. It could cost you as much as $5,000 in various kinds of fees. It's a fairly practical number. It could cost you 20. It could cost you 3. 5 is a decent planning number. You need to have your company legally formed. You just need to do it. Don't go out and raise money without having it formed. You may want your management team involved. It should be in writing with a contract or some kind of promissory note at a bare minimum. And the lawyers, I don't blame them for not agreeing with me. I'm just saying, if you decide not to do it correctly, get it in writing, please. Here, more importantly, the questions that you really need to ask. Can the investor part with the money without reservation? Don't ever mismanage those expectations. Can they afford to lose all of their money, and how will it be at Thanksgiving? Because if he and I are related and I give him 100 grand and he throws it down the toilet, in my opinion, in his opinion he lost it on a deal that should have gone right, and our families can't ever talk to each other anymore because we can't be in the same room forever, we have a big problem and it's bigger than 100 grand. Don't do that to yourself. How quickly do they expect a return? And if it's 3 years or less, run away. Nobody, I mean, I'm sorry, I've read the stories about quick flips. I believe in the 20-year overnight sensation. After 20 hard years, someone will decide you were an overnight sensation if you made it, okay? Do they like the business that they're investing in? Are they investing for the right reasons? Why, and what's their motivation, and how often do they want updates? This is a big one. You're going to get somebody that sends you an email every week and wants a 2-page response on how you're doing. You don't have time for that person. Tell them you'll give them an update once a year. See how they react. Angel investment, 3 to 12 months in today's environment. This hasn't changed. It's hard. It's still hard to do. It can cost 25 to 100 grand to put a good-sized angel, especially if you have multiple angels in the deal, put it together. You need a lawyer, you need an accountant, a financial advisor, and sometimes you need an intermediary. It's really a good idea to have an intermediary, because if Layard is investing in my company and we've got to get along for a long time and there has to be a really difficult conversation, I really want Chris to do that. So I can just kind of go, well, that was Chris. I'm blaming it on Chris. Because we have to have a relationship as an investor or co-owners, basically. So you really should think about that. Management team is absolutely key. You're going to need all of those standard documents. One of the books I talked about, Venture Deals, talks about, well, you really don't need a business plan. Yeah, you do. Okay, I'll disagree with them. If you're in Silicon Valley and you've done 9 startups and this is your 10th and you've batted 1,000 so far, you don't need a business plan. Okay? The first time out, second time out, you need a business plan. So do them. Why are they investing? How soon do they expect to return? These are all going to look the same. They're a little more formal with an angel, and you should be more comfortable asking them. If they're a real angel, they should have great answers to this. And be careful. There's a ton of people running around saying they're an angel investor, and very, very, very few that really can write the check. Very few. Get references from your angel. Look them straight in the eye and say, do you have any references? Who else have you invested in? And can I talk to 3 of them? Can you give me a list of 8? Sorry, if I'm going to ask the guy at the back that's an angel investor, I want to know if he's for real. If this is his first deal, I don't want him on mine. I do not want the rookie. I just don't want him, okay? Sorry. What do they want? Warrants, liquidity preferences, all those things. What's their exit? How do you handle control, valuation, all of those things. Those are all the questions you need to keep in your mind going through that. When you get to the world of venture capital, again, what Ben was talking about, the $1 million to $5 million to 20, 6 to 18 months, okay? It can cost you $250,000 to do this. You do need all those other things plus more. You have a ton of things that are going to be going on in here. When I talked about that book, Venture Deals, one of the reasons I like the book, even though I disagree with the authors in certain places, they take what's called is it the offering, Chris, am I saying the right, what's the 8-page document, the term sheet, thank you. They take this term sheet, which is like the master plan document, it's the blueprint. They use the word blueprint for the deal. And they take it apart and they go through it 1 paragraph at a time. I literally sat on a plane the other night for over an hour reading the 4 pages on preferences. I still don't get it. I'm better, I'm farther along, and I've been through a few deals, and I'm still going, okay, but there's this, and then this plays on this, and they all interweave. But they take that document apart, and what they say in there is the language has become fairly standard. The terms have become fairly standard. So it's, for you, being able to learn that much makes you look so much smarter when it comes time to have a term sheet discussion, whether it's with your lawyer or the person you're trying to get money from. It's really worth the $30 for the book.
And the National Venture Capital Association website I mentioned has a term sheet that's close to what you'll see in deals.
Yeah.
There's also a glossary in there.
Yeah,
really
great.
Helpful.
Really helpful.
The jargon just flows.
Oh, it's just like being with the programmers. I'm a programmer, and the programmers kill me because I haven't written any code for 20 years. I don't know their jargon anymore. The management team is absolutely key. Expect excruciating due diligence. And I don't underestimate the word excruciating. One of the smartest things you can do is create a paid-for Dropbox with full backup the day you start your company and keep every document, and I mean every document, everything, and never stop collecting. So that the day this begins and your lawyer says, do you have all your stuff together, you can just invite them to the Dropbox and say, tell me how to organize it. Tell me what to not have in there. Okay, just from the very beginning, everything you sign. If you sign it, if it's sent to you in the mail, I'm not kidding, every monthly bill, everything. It doesn't cost anything to buy a scanner and scan documents. Just do it.
And the thing is, if you've got that, then before you make it available to the VC, we can look at it and say, wait, this says you had 100,000 authorized shares, but according to this, you issued 200,000.
Right.
Oops. But trust me, I mean, I had a deal
that one move
long ago with lots of inconsistent stuff that was all in the Dropbox, and so you can't go through and say, well, let's fix it beforehand. You have to say, yeah, well, that's not exactly right. We'll fix it now.
All it does is saves you, of that 6 to 18 months, it'll save you 2 to 4 months. If you've done that well, because I've been through this with a public offering and an LBO. It takes months to find out. Try to find every contract you've signed with every customer for the last 10 years. Go. How long will it take you? And it may even go back to previous business. Key questions, same questions. They're just a hell of a lot more serious about what's the exit expectation and control and some of those other things. It's kind of like going from playing baseball at the schoolyard to playing baseball in high school for the AAA team to going all of a sudden you're in the major leagues. You are in the major leagues and they are throwing for real. So don't kid yourself, it is about control. So with that literally is everything. Are there any questions that you'd like me to answer as the group? I will tell you that a lot of the people that presented will be here tonight for the beers and so on. Yes? It's at the front of your document. It's called Venture Deals. On the like 3rd or 4th slide, you're going to see a list of 4 books that I recommended. Page 3, thank you. It is written down there, Venture Deals. And again, it was written by a couple of VCs, so it's got a VC taint, but I got to tell you, they were pretty straight up on it. And they had a serial entrepreneur write the entrepreneur's view after each section, where he would say, "Oh, I'm calling bullshit on this one. I don't agree." So I mean, they were pretty serious. These are very, very, very well-known VCs, extremely well-known. So they did it because it's the book they wish they had when they started out, and I think that's a good reason to write a book. Thank you all for coming. All of this will be on videotape up on the Biz in a week or two. It takes a little time to get through all this. Dave, thanks for sitting in the room for 9 straight hours of videotaping. I appreciate it. And if you go out that door, you'll find some cold drinks. There's wine, beer, etc., and we'll be hanging around for about an hour. Thank you.